All right, everybody, welcome back to another video. It's been a hot minute. I have a gigantic band-aid on my forehead. Uh, Stress, acne, shit that's normal for me. But we're just gonna do some patch notes here. Patch 12.14 is coming out tomorrow as of recording, so this is going to be live the day it goes live. But here is a little bit of the things that we can see. Gnar is getting a nerf. Renata, Seraphine, Sivir, Yumi, and Zarya are all getting nerfed as well. They're buffing Alistar, Jarvan, LeBlanc, Nocturne, Pantheon, Timo. Timo getting a buff. It's time to ruin somebody's life. At least once, you know? And Varus is getting a buff as well. Obviously, the second batch of Star Guardian skins is coming out as well. And they're adjusting some of the other champions here. Aatrox, GP, Janna, Kane, Wukong. They're all getting slight adjustments to their numbers, I believe. And then some of the enchanter items are getting nerfed. Exhaust itself, Red Smite, Challenging Smite is getting nerfed. Which, I mean, Red Smite is Exhaust and Ignite, so it kind of needed to be nerfed. And then a whole bunch of runes are also getting changed. As well as dragons themselves are also getting like a little bit like more HP but less damage kind of deal to incentivize like taking them, but like not really having too much of an issue, right? It's to try to make it more favorable to go for objectives rather than ignore them in the first place. But we're gonna go here. Aatrox, he's getting increased health growth, but his passive healing on E is getting nerfed by 2% across the board at the final rank, I mean. His ult, the increased healing, it used to be 55%, is getting a 10% cut at the final rank. Alistar, his Q is getting a lower mana cost and some cooldown reduction on it, not very much, but it's to try to like shove him back into a little bit of a playable position, because at the moment the enchanters are the only thing you can really play, or the broken engage supports, right? GP, he is getting his HP nerfed, his health growth is increased instead, and his base armor is getting lowered as well. They're trying to nerf him in the top lane, I believe. Trial by Fire, his passive is getting a crit scaling. So hold on. Okay, so he's getting crit scaling on his passive to incentivize a crit build rather than just like the Triforce lethality build that is very popular at the moment. His Q parlay is getting increase in base damage. Okay, increase at the late base damage, but nerfed at the early, so it's not as oppressive early on. But again, it's the first ability you max, right? So you're gonna get there relatively fine. Powder Keg is getting its slow amount reduced across the board. Okay, so it's getting its slow reduced across the board, but you get more slow with crit. Again, incentivizing the crit build. The bonus physical damage used to be 80 to 180. It is now up to 195. So again, nerfed a little bit the early game, buffed in the late game, and the bonus damage on crit has been nerfed by 15%. But again, they're putting the scalings of the 15% here in other places in his kit to incentivize playing with crit more, you know? Gnar, he is getting his base health slashed by 40, but his health region is also getting slashed. This is just weird. I don't think his HP was the issue with it, but again, no trust in the balance team for a little bit now. It's getting better, but it's not getting better fast enough. Janna, her E shield is getting buffed late. Actually, getting buffed across the board, but her passive bonus healing shield is getting nerfed by 5%. So the base is going up, getting nerfed on the scaling. Her Monsoon, again, is getting buffed on scaling as compensation, I would say. Jarvan, he is getting Q damage ratio increased by 20% to incentivize more damage rather than tank. His E is also getting scaling cooldown now, so it goes down by a little bit at the max rank. Kane is getting a health growth increase, which is not needed, but you know. But his Rost passive is getting nerfed, so I guess that's why they're doing it. He's healing about 5 to 10% less. Is it 5 to 10? No, it's just 5% across the board getting nerfed for the healing amount for the damage he's dealt the champions. That's not bad. LeBlanc is getting more mana for base mana and more mana growth by 5. as well as Distortion getting buffed by about 20 at the later rank, and buffed a little bit in the middle rank, as well as the second to last one. It's not too bad. Nocturne. Okay, so they're changing Nocturne passive so that the slash damage does the full damage to the one minion you're auto-attacking, but still reduce damage to the ones around it. I don't think they needed that, but okay. Pantheon now does 70% damage to minions for his Q, but also 105% to monsters. So they're trying to shift him into the jungle again. The main issue with jungle is they keep trying to put diversity there because only a few champions are really good at jungle at the moment. So they're trying to offer more. They're trying to offer more in terms of champs to play, as well as getting Pantheon's play rate up. Not really what's gonna happen though, I don't think, because after the Prestige skin or the Ashen Knight skin, I don't think people really want to play with them. The Renata nerf, she's getting her health slashed by 50 and her base AD reduced by 2. Again, I saw this Renata nerf coming in because she's very, very strong, especially in high levels of play. She can completely negate an entire dive just with one W. So yeah, Seraphine is deserving of a nerf, but this is completely the wrong reason. Her W is getting nerfed on ratios by 10%. And the heal per ally is also getting nerfed by 0.2% per 100 AP. So only her ratios are getting nerfed, but it's whatever. Sivir Q bug fix with the scaling with attack speed, and then W ricochet. The damage to minions has been lowered by about 15%, but it also executes them by a ricochet if it's less than 15 HP. So there's no more like 1 HP minions that like just stay there and you lose out on it, you know? Timo, he's getting 5 more mana growth, and his ult is getting quality of life changes. So his ult used to be 400 to 900 range. It's now 600 to 900. So it's a little extra range. At the first rank, so it's not as hard to place down a shroom and try to like take like an engage in the wave and stuff like that. But the damage is also getting a 5% AP bonus. Okay, so he's getting a buff by 5% AP, and the mana for shrooms now scales. The higher rank and level of your ult is now also going to reduce the amount of mana it takes to like pump them out, which is really nice. And this is actually going to make him quite terrifying when you're trying to like take his base and there's just shrooms everywhere. Varus is getting 2 base AD. Wow. Great buff. It's going to work so much magic. Levels 1 to 2. I don't know. This Varus is in one of those spots where, like, yeah, I understand why they're only doing a base AD buff, because he's either extremely oppressive or completely useless. So they're just trying to push him more into play with perhaps a little bit of easier early game. Wukong. Oh, what? He's getting 1.5 health regen per second. That's not needed. And his passive is getting a nerf? Okay, so they're increasing his base health so that he can be in lane more. And this is, I think, to nerf jungle Wukong so that he can't just stack his passive as much and stay as healthy in the jungle. Interesting. Again, don't like Wukong, but it's nice for the players. Yumi's AP scaling on her E is getting reduced by 5%. Again, every Yumi nerf is closer to happiness, because she makes the game entirely unfun to play against. Zeri is getting some changes. Zeri is becoming part of the Rise like nerf club. She's had 12 changes since she's been released. 12. Like, damn. The right clicks now execute enemies with under a certain amount of HP, but her uncharted auto like right clicks no longer does increased damage to enemies below a certain percent of HP. And her R is getting nerfed for AP by 5. Okay, so the the on hit bonus magic damage is getting nerfed by 5 at all ranks, just in base damage. Not bad, not bad. Chempunk Chainsword is getting its combined cost increase. So it used to be 2,600, is now 2,800. People have been rushing this item because it's it was very gold efficient. Not so sure now, but it should be perfectly fine. Enchanter items across the board are getting like a 2% to 4% nerf. If you want to see, you can just pause the video here. Trying to work a little magic with the amount of shields and heals in the game because it's very unfun at the moment. And it's not really easy to kill anybody. Like, in terms of like a tank meta, it's worse than tank meta because it's on top of the tanks already, right? So this is to try to give people a little more of a window to kill in between cooldowns, you know? Sunfire is getting nerfed quite a bit. It no longer scales with the immolate damage, but the immolate damage now scales with your HP. So assassins or like carries like Graves or Diana are more incentivized to buy HP to get the damage on it. But again, this is not what they were buying it for. They're buying it for the tank stats itself because it gives you tenacity. It gives you a lot of extra HP and armor to deal with squishies and stuff like that, and you can't get one shot yourself. So this is nice for champions, let's say like Mordekaiser, but other than that, not really sure, you know? Potions and runes. Potions are getting giga nerfed, like really badly, to the point where it's not worth it, really. But people are still going to run it because potions. But potions are getting 30 less HP healed, and refillables and corrupting are getting like 25 less. So now potions, 3 HP pots is only 360 HP, whereas a refillable pot is only 200 HP, and a corrupting pot is only 300 HP. So it's refillable potion is completely useless now. I'm calling it now. People, if you go refillable, it's not really worth it unless you're recalling a lot. Biscuit's also getting nerfed with that. Again, Biscuit it's already kind of bad unless you're in a non-fighting lane, but you know. Bone Plating is getting its cooldown increased by 10 seconds, giving an increased window to fight. Conditioning is getting nerfed by 1 armor and magic resist, as well as the total percent getting nerfed by 1%. Guardian cooldown is going up by 20 seconds early, but same at the later stages. Again, Guardian is not really that good right now on anybody other than an Enchanter, so I can see it. Scorch is getting buffed early, so incentivizing more fighting early and nerfing some of the healing and shielding early. Second Wind is also getting nerfed by half of the base, not the scaling missing HP thing. That is a bit insane. Sudden Impact is getting buffed by 2 lethality and 1 magic pen. Time Warp Tonic is just remove it. Time Warp Tonic is not a rune at this point. It's more of a meme and a failure in the rune set. Come on, man. 2% bonus movement speed under a potion or it's not worth it. It's not worth it, dude. Unflinching gives 5 to 25% tenacity and slow resist instead of 10 to 30, so it's a 5% hit at all ranks. It's pretty big. Summoner spells. The damage reduction is now 10% instead of 20 on Challenging Smite, which is good. This thing is just terrible. I don't even think this should be in the game. I think the slow one is just better. Exhaust is getting its damage reduction reduced by 5% to try to, I guess, allow people to deal more damage. I don't know. Exhaust is like the only rune a lot of AD carries can go at the moment other than Cleanse. So I don't know. They're changing the system to allow for more like objectives and more fighting because early game is too slow now apparently. Drakes are getting less damage and a little bit, not a little bit, but quite a bit more HP. I'm gonna slowly go through this because it's about the same and it's really just shifting damage down and tankiness up. So you go after it. And Rift Herald has new stuff. New passive, Chonky. Rift Herald now has 75% more health when summoned the second time. And Rift Herald now. Okay, so this is good. Rift Herald will now grant 200 local gold to the team that killed it. So you can put the Rift in the lane, and it's not like it doesn't force the laner to have to auto attack the tower at this point. It forces them to just be in the area, you know, which is really good. It's really good. That's a very nice quality of life change. But the second one is gonna make Rift Herald very, very like priority heavy, because that's a lot more HP that you can use to take towers with. Ultimate spellbook changes, nobody really cares. On Clash is gonna start on August 1st. And the next rank split is with Belveth, and that looks kind of dookie, so I ain't touching it. Behavioral systems. You'll now be able to see which teammates honored you if you hover over the honor icon. That's cool. That's really nice. Mythic Content, Prestige, Aatrox, Malphite, and Star Guardian Jinx Chrome are now going to be in the shop, and the ones leaving are KDA Evelyn, Pulsefire Lucian, and the Veigar Chroma. Not bad. And then a bunch of bug fixes. Sion getting a bunch just for himself. And then there's all of those. And then obviously the Star Guardian skins for Akali, Quinn, Rel, Talia, Morgana, and Prestige Syndra are all coming out alongside their chromas. But that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this little patch note rundown. Ignore the band-aid on my forehead, and I hope you have a great day. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you again at the next one. Goodbye!